Today we'll be making the mini T-Rex head. This will be from the templates of Epiccardboard cutouts. He had a very large T-Rex head that I wanted to build some time ago, but I just didn't want to get into it. So when he came up with this mini model, it was just the right thing for me. First order of business is to cut out the two halves of the main section of the head. For some reason, the two halves aren't the same size, and I'm sure that's not intentional. It's definitely not a printing problem on my end. So what I did was print out the first half, and then I mirror imaged it for the second half. The other template pieces had to be printed out in duplicate, one for each side. I'll be using cardstock for all of this project except for the centerpiece. For that, I'll be using a single layer cardboard. Using spray adhesive, I attached the cardstock center head piece to the cardboard. After cutting that piece out, I attached the mirror image to the other side. Then I cut out all the other template pieces. I used several layers of cardboard to create the base for the T-Rex head. Attaching the layers with spray adhesive. Three more layers of cardstock is put on top of the base to allow for the carved out T-Rex lettering. After applying the top section of the base, I cut out the T-Rex lettering. I carefully attached the template pieces to the main head section with hot glue. It's a long and arduous process, so I'll speed it up a bit. To keep the template pieces separated from each other, I utilize strips of 4mm foam. With one half of this done, I can turn it over and get started on the other side. Continuing to use the strips of 4mm foam to keep the pieces separated. With these type builds, you have to be very patient. Some of the template pieces are placed closer together, and for that I use 2mm foam to keep them separated. With the main structure completed, I can start applying the first layer of skin. But first I use my glue gun to fill in any of the spaces I believe aren't structurally sound. I usually use a mixture of white glue and water to attach the first layer of skin, which is usually a gift wrapping tissue. It wasn't working for me this particular time, so I decided to go with the spray adhesive. With the first layer of skin on, I rolled up the two pieces of template that act as the eye sockets. After hot gluing the eye sockets in place, I rolled up some white tissue to create the eyeballs. Before attaching the outer skin, I created detail on the head using my glue gun. With all the detailing done, it was time to attach the outer skin. I utilized a mixture of white glue and water as well as the spray adhesive to attach the brown wrapping paper that would become the outer skin. The spray adhesive was for a quicker connection. The white glue and water is to create a harder shell. After applying the skin, I blot the area with dry tissue to remove all the excess liquid. I cut out pieces of brown paper to create the skin around the eyes. Using triangular folds of brown paper, I create the web section of skin between the upper and lower jaws, as well as covering the inside of the mouth. Using spray adhesive, I attached the 4 sections of template that becomes the tongue and wrapped it in brown paper. After giving the tongue a little curvature, I used hot glue to attach it inside the mouth. I positioned the tongue to keep a little space between the top and the bottom of the mouth. I used some rolled up sections of brown paper to create folds in the neck. Using spray adhesive, I covered the base with brown paper. I then exposed the cutouts for the T-Rex lettering. Over the years, I've used different methods of making teeth. I can't say that I find any of the processes fun because it's just long and tedious. I found these 3-prong adapters that I had for my overhead lighting, which you can also see the video on. I'll leave a link in the description to that. Anyway, these are unused. I had a big excess of them. There's just a thin web of plastic between each of the prongs, so I cut those there. Inside there is a very light metal, very thin metal, so it's easy to bend. I utilize my pliers and my hands and bend it into a slight curve. Then I actually utilize my file to file down one end to make it sort of pointy on one end, and I think that's going to make a great teeth. For the future, I believe I'm going to make a mold that'll make it a lot easier to expedite making teeth. I'll be using my X-Acto knife to create the cavities to place the teeth, and I'll attach them with hot glue. All of the teeth will be attached with the curvature facing the rear of the mouth. At this point, I'm only putting 20 teeth in, 10 on the top and 10 on the bottom. But I'm probably going to add a lot more later, just as I did with my Velociraptor build, which I'll leave a link in the description for that build as well. I'm going to be using a watered down vermilion acrylic paint for the tongue. After using some titanium white to cover up the grinded sections of the top of the teeth, I'll put some splashes of scarlet red to simulate a little blood. But first I want to highlight the T-Rex lettering with some black paint and then apply a light stain over the entire project. To make sure the stain doesn't go on too heavy, I thin it out with some denatured alcohol. I also quickly wipe the stain off immediately after applying it. Please excuse the horrible camera angle during this particular process. At this point, I attach the head to the base utilizing hot glue. I cut some cavities in the head and base so that I'll get a better adhesion. I also apply a bit of pressure while the hot glue is drying. Here I'm applying those splashes of scarlet red onto the teeth to simulate some blood. I'm also going to reinforce the connection between the head and base. And here we are at the end of the project. I am going to add some additional teeth as well as apply a polyurethane spray on the outside, but I'm going to conclude the video here. When I get those last minute touches done, I'll make it short. Once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, and press the bell notification for future videos.